Hey.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Are you ready?
Hi, I'm Subhan,
I'm Sean Hill.
and welcome to the 6th episode of Average Joe,
Daily Show.
the Average Joe Daily Show.
That's
There you
right.
go.
All right, let's
Right.
get this thing started.
So, well, it's a beautiful day.
It's May 8th.
It's yeah, and Mother's Day is this Sunday. So, if you don't have plans, you better be in a hurry and do it. If you're ordering something online, you're probably out of luck. So,
Yep.
hopefully you don't have to wait in line with all those people at the Walmart, Target, wherever it is that it's lines around the building and stuff like that.
I have not been like in a Walmart since the line thing started.
I-
Since the minimum, like they're minimizing occupancy
Yeah.
of the stores, and every time I pull into Walmart or a big store and there's a line, I'm like, I guess I don't need anything that bad.
Right. Same here. I don't remember the last time I went to Walmart. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So Mother's Day, show your appreciation. I know that the florists are still providing flower deliveries to your house. So they're doing like a DoorDash type thing. Flowers are always a good idea. Go out there and grab some flowers. Women still appreciate those things. Women still love flowers and candy.
They do. They do.
I know.
Vouch for that.
I know that for sure. I mean, if they don't like candy, they'll like flowers. If they don't like flowers, they like candy. So hey, you'll win one way or the other.
So, what else has happened today? It's May 8th right now. Supposed to have some bad weather this weekend.
This is crazy. What do you guys think of this weather, huh? We're supposed to have this, like, another cyclone weather forecast for this weekend. And so if you have a garden or started a garden, you might want to protect it because temperatures are supposed to dip down to the 30s overnight.
Yeah, strangely.
From now till Tuesday. So if you have a garden, protect it. Take care of it because you don't want to ruin all that effort to produce your food and self-sustain yourself.
Yeah, we might actually get a little bit of snow.
Yeah, snow is expected. I think, at least a couple inches of snow, up to 4 inches possibly in the Bangor area.
I'm used to this being done, like winter being done by the middle of April.
So I made a post earlier today, and I was basically like, I posted about this storm that's coming our way, and I'm like, you know what? Are you even phased about this? Because by the way, it's 2020. Nothing seems to phase us because we get hit one thing after another keeps on coming our way.
Yep, it doesn't even matter.
It's like, okay, there's gonna be a volcanic eruption for the first time in the state of Maine. No big deal, it's 2020.
Hey, are you advertising for Coca-Cola?
Oh, Coca-Cola. Let me talk to you about this Coca-Cola
I just
thing.
noticed that.
This Coca-Cola thing, there's a purpose for this. Let me
All right.
turn down my volume because I wanna turn this one. So we went to Chipotle, and I got my usual steak burrito, barely any weight. We got food just like that, and they're out of Coke syrup in their machine, so I couldn't get a regular bottle of Coke.
How dare?
But my wife got a nice big Diet Coke, and she was happy, and she said, "Oh, they have ice now," because they hadn't had ice the past couple of times we've been there. And the first time she had warm soda, the second time she had cool water, cool soda, and then this third time, within a couple weeks, she got ice in her water. But instead of giving me Coke from syrup, they gave me this bottle to drink from, which is actually kind of good health-wise because I'm drinking a whole lot less than the large quantity of Coke I normally drink. But while we were in the car eating our Chipotle, my daughter's like, "Hey, can I have the cap?" I'm like, "What do you want the cap for?" And she's like, "Well," she went off and told me about Fallout is used for currency, whatever bottle caps are used for currency, and she likes role-playing and stuff like that. And I said, and then this idea came to my mind of memories of when I was back in the motherland, in Thailand and Laos, and at the refugee camp, they actually used the bottle caps to play checkers. So
Good idea to me.
So you would have checkers laid down. If they're all the same type of caps, you just flip it around so the sharp side sticks out, and now you know who's who, and then they're easy to stack if you want to crown them. You know, king me, so you just stack. They're easy to stack.
Yep.
So we used them to play checkers back in the day, and I don't know if it's done here in the U.S., but that's what we did.
We got too many cheap checker game kits that are sold in stores.
So you guys had plenty. You didn't have to deal with having to settle with bottle caps or anything like that to play checkers with?
No.
Okay.
Checkers. Like Dollar Store, you can go to the Dollar Store now and get a checker game.
Yeah, well now, but I'm talking about back in the
Back
day.
in the day.
Back in the day, like the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, 70s, I was swimming in a pool, wasn't thinking about checkers.
All
I
right.
wasn't as cultured. I was a little Western child running around doing whatever.
All right.
In fact, my parents didn't even care where I was. This is a difference between then and now.
Right.
Like, as long as I came home at the end of the day, everything was okay. They're like, boom, you're outside, and then doing whatever. Like, I used to do whatever I wanted to do.
I used to ride my bike all around town before I was a teenager. I mean, literally, I can go anywhere. My brother and I would just put on backpacks, fill up with the snacks and drinks, and spend the whole day riding our bikes.
Just gone all day.
Gone all day. My parents wouldn't know where we were.
Probably weren't concerned.
They weren't concerned until the sun started coming down.
Yeah.
The sun started coming down. My father would whistle at us. By the third whistle, if we don't respond to him or we're not visible, we're in trouble.
Did he have some form of discipline that you would get, like a switch or a belt or a smack on the butt or something?
Well,
What kind of discipline would you get if you did not show?
I remember the only time I remember being disciplined by my father was all the kids were in trouble at the same time. There were 6 of us. We were all in trouble at the same time. He lined us up, and he started with the oldest. And we thought, okay, by the time we got to the youngest, second to the youngest, maybe he'll go less.
Yeah. Was it a physical punishment?
It was.
That's one of the things also that's different from then to now.
It was, yeah. It was a physical punishment.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
got smacked. I got the belt.
Yeah.
The belt comes off and it's like snap, snap. If you run, if you move, it's gonna get worse. And I'm like, oh boy.
So for us, it was not the belt, but he would have a stick of some sort and just
Whack you.
whack us. I don't remember where. It didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I think what mattered most to me was not the physical punishment, but his disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me was harder to take than the actual physical punishment.
Well, nowadays it's all disappointment
Yeah.
because you're not supposed to give your kid a little whack. It's all about negotiation.
Drop the pen.
That is a lot of groaning and moaning to just get a pen.
It's almost like a daily routine, like
Yes.
each episode. There's a routine with me just always dropping the pen and having to go down. That's like the second or third time it's done.
That's a sign of age. It's getting older.
Yeah. Okay. So
Moving on.
we have a couple of local news, like openings and stuff like that. So today is the first day Fort Knox is opening up. We mentioned that at the last episode, but today is the day for Friday. So expect it to be crowded. Be sure you still keep your, the distancing rules and stuff like that. There'll be people there to give you, there'll be rules and signage, I think, to let you know what can be done. I think the only thing that's not open right now there is the gift shop and the observatory, which I still haven't gone up to check out. Have you been up there?
The observatory?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been up there
You have?
twice. And it's tight. It's tight in that little building that goes up in the elevator, so I can see them not opening that.
Have you gotten any good shots from up there? Some pictures?
I got a few shots, but it's
through glass.
Well, you go up there and you're like, well, everyone else has these same photos.
Well, it's sometimes I'm thinking, what can I do to post-process this to make like so much more wow than the other person, or can I do a panorama and stitch it that will look different, and can I go right up to the glass and not have any reflection?
I mean, you can. It's the same view everybody else gets. So think of everybody else with the same ideas. Not that I want to put a downer on it, but
man,
I'm sure creativity can take over.
You definitely ruined my thoughts on going.
There now.
I don't want to go now. Thanks a lot.
Remember,
Thanks a lot.
it's about telling the story. You got to get a subject in the picture.
Right. Yeah. But just like my last episode's tip of doing travel photography is take that shot without anyone in it, and then put someone in there that you care about, and it tells a story.
Yep. I mean, I'd maybe go up there with a really good telephoto zoom lens and zoom in on some stuff.
So the other place that's opening up is, you know where Blackbeard's is on the Odland Road?
Okay. Yep.
New owners have taken place, and an ice cream shop, or an existing ice cream shop, is opening up. I forgot the name. I'm sorry, I didn't get the name of the ice cream shop. We'll do a shout out to you at another time. But so they're gonna have ice cream there, and other things, because you know Blackbeard's had when it was around, they had those remote control boats, they had batting cages, they had go karts, and they had mini golf at Blackbeard's. If you haven't been, you can go check it out, and it should be good. If nothing else, ice cream. It's a sunny day. You know what was really eerie? What's eerie about this time period that we're going through right now? My family stopped at Stillwater Park midday, lunchtime, because after we grabbed food from Chipotle, we stopped at the park. We ate there. We ate inside because it was a little breezy, but we were outside in the field, just family time, and nobody was there. That was eerie. Nobody.
It's that weird dystopian feel.
Yeah,
it's like it's after the apocalypse or after some.
It definitely still feels that way.
Yeah.
People aren't going out, but vitamin D is necessary. You need to get out there and get some sun. It helps you emotionally, and you just physically need that too.
Yeah, vitamin D is linked to like everything in the body, like health wise.
So get your sunshine, guys. It's a nice day, and you want to get out there before the snow comes. So the snowstorm that's supposed to be coming, it's supposed to have like a lightning storm. So it's a snow lightning that's going to be happening. I've only experienced that a couple of times in my life. I thought that was kind of cool.
Be checking that out.
Except that it's May. We don't need snow in May.
May, like what the heck?
I think Mother Nature is confused. But
we're just extending out our wintertime fun.
So that's kind of the news of what's opening up right now, and there's more restaurants that's opening back up. So check out your local listings of restaurants that are up and opening. I think there's a comprehensive list I saw on Facebook. I'll try to link it to our video.
Yeah, and it's like I don't view it as all bad as far as this getting the service from the restaurants, because some of the curbside service is a little faster than going in and dining in.
Oh yeah.
So
and well, sometimes you're going when I it's not one of my favorite places to eat, like Olive Garden.
Yep.
My wife loves it. My daughter loves it. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, some of the wait, just waiting to get seated.
Oh yeah.
It's horrible.
You're waiting to get seated, then maybe there's a wait between your drink. Can I bring you a drink? And then come back
appetizer,
and take the order.
Then the appetizer.
It's just that it's that cultural process of
it takes like 2 hours to eat.
I kind of personally like, this is what I want, and then I'm gonna pull up and give it to me. And
But you're a little different though, anyways, because you view food a little differently than I do.
Yeah.
It's just like nourishment for you. It's your body needs it. It's not that. For me, it's a ritual.
Yeah.
It's a ritual, like almost religious, because you're like, wow, you're experiencing this time together. It's food.
Yeah, you like that like 7-course meal.
Right.
Thing,
Yes, that's
ceremonial serving.
That's why I'm a little thicker in the neck than you are.
Yeah, I'm more like, oh man, I gotta eat again. This is so annoying. Why can't we just live without having to eat?
I can't identify. So you're one of those guys can live on shakes then, huh?
I could, except after a certain amount of shakes, your body kind of starts rejecting a little bit of solid food in there.
Oh, okay. So you've experienced this before.
Yes,
then.
like I've tried the most efficient ways of consuming, and it's not always good. Not always a good result on the end.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can imagine. Oh, the other cool thing that I want to mention to you that's happening locally is that do you guys you know who Mark Braveman is?
No, I don't know who Mark.
Mark Braveman owns Mark's Music.
Did not know his last name.
He also bought Bronson Communications, so he does all these events at the Cross Insurance Center. He would do all the lighting, the setup, the stage, the sound, all that good stuff, audio visuals. He would just do a terrific job. So, I just wanted to say hi to people that had joined us. Hey, Matt Tripp, thanks for joining us, buddy. Becky Eastman, thank you for joining us. He's just from out of state.
Yeah, Travis Lenfest jumped in, but he never says anything. Travis, I want you to give me some feedback, comments, ask a question.
Yeah. So Mark Braveman, you can imagine what happened to his business when it is kind of centered around events.
It is around events.
And even Mark's music is kind of centered around events because he's catering to musicians and those that are performing and stuff like that on a weekly, daily basis. And all of a sudden their events are canceled.
Yep.
And now what's he got going on? Well, this is what he's doing. I'm going to bring it up because I'm going to read it from his personal post. It's had over 358 shares already. And It says, if any schools out there that want to still have a graduation, I can help. I am pitching the idea of doing a drive-in graduation. The students can still march. We have regular stage set up with social distancing. Just a crowd of spectators will be in their cars listening over the radio and watching on stage and big screens. I can bring this to you, done right in the school parking lot. If you know a school interested, please send them my way. So contact Mark Braveman at Mark's Music if you have a school that still wants graduation to happen. And so it's a drive-in graduation. I saw this post before, a national post about doing it at a drive-in.
Yep, like at an actual drive-in.
An actual drive-in, but I think this is a cool idea, doing it right at the school.
Yep.
So you can, as a
in
photographer,
their parking lot.
as a photographer, it'd be cool to have the school in the background, even, and then they're graduating from there. So you still have that connection of, hey, I graduated from that school, and it's in the background. It's really cool,
Yep.
So that's happening locally, and I thought that was terrific. So I shared that on my personal page too. So businesses are so creative.
Yeah, he's kind of morphing. He's trying to change it around.
Right.
And I still say if they do have the drive-in graduations, that the kids could put a big giant graduation cap on their cars.
Yeah, no,
like they do their caps.
Mm-hmm.
Man, deck those cars out.
So the other thing is good that you mentioned that, because not all schools have a good parking lot to hold this event. So at a drive-in, so I'd like to see Mark, I think, partner up with the Bangor Drive-In and do this for schools that don't have a big parking lot to do graduations.
Yep.
So because not all parking lots are big enough for having family members and stuff in cars to do that drive-in, because cars take up a little bit more space than people.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a lot more. So I'd like to. What do you think? Would that be a cool idea for him to connect with local drive-ins to do that?
Yeah, because it's a large open area.
Right. I think that would be cool too.
It's a good avenue. It's good to see that. As an example, he's changing his business model around a little bit to kind of be productive during this time.
Well, he's got to be racking his brains a little bit about all the events that have canceled around him, either canceled or postponed. So, anyways, that's another local bit of ditty that's come around. And do you have something you want to cover? And then I'll
I just wanted to let everybody know that the reason I'm not wearing my average Joe Daily Show t-shirt is because I'm going to be promoting a newer workout video I just put on Marshall Yu's YouTube channel.
That's right.
So I'm wearing this in honor of the new video I'm going to be posting. It's a 30-minute martial arts workout using Taekwondo kicks. And I just made the video this morning, and I haven't posted it yet, but it's coming soon.
All right, so check that out.
30 minutes straight, no breaks.
So you can check out Marshall Yu on YouTube.
And always unleash your potential.
All right. And he also has a fan page on Facebook too, so it's Marshall Yu.
Yeah.
I remember you started Marshall Yu as a nonprofit, right?
Nonprofit in 2011, I officially created the nonprofit organization. It was an actual 501c3, and we simply ran out of funding after 4.5 years of operating. And then I had to dissolve the 501c3 because we couldn't get any funding, because martial arts is one of those activities that's more or less an elective activity. It's not seen as a necessity by foundations that you can get grants from. So I just said, the heck with it, no more nonprofit road, and I'll just do this without it and do this.
So what was the original reason why you started this up?
The mission was to bring martial arts to those who couldn't afford it, because the structure, the goal setting, just the ability for people to achieve is so great, and it affected me so much that I wanted to give that opportunity to other kids and adults that could not afford to pay for traditional classes at a martial arts studio.
I was just going to say that you took kids in that couldn't afford it, and I thought it was a cool program, and I supported you as much as I could.
You did. A lot of people did.
When you got it going.
Yeah.
And I was one of your students before you did that. I was one of your students at the Bangor Y when that was the first time we met.
It was cool. It was cool times. It was cool things. But foundations just didn't see it as a necessity. So
right. But he has his YouTube channel, which gives you great exercise tips and routines that you can follow, get fit, learn a little bit about martial arts, build some confidence, and you can also communicate with him, comment on his videos, so he can get back to you and give you tips that will specifically improve your
That's
health.
right. Everything I post there is to help somebody like better themselves, better your skill set, help you achieve, learn, grow, and unleash your potential. That's my whole tagline and phrase.
All right, cool. So
that's out of the way, so you'll see this.
Right. So the other thing I wanted to bring up was businesses. I was thinking, I was at a Zoom meeting with a BNI group. Queen City BNI is right in Brewer, and they usually meet at Shindigs right at the Vacation Land Inn, and I'll be joining that group as a BNI member. BNI is Business Network International, but it made me think about what are you as small business owners, because Sean and I are both business owners. What are you going to do to plan for getting back to business when it is time to come back and get back to business? What are you doing to get prepared?
I'm slowly catching up with my current clients that they themselves are trying to get back to business. So my business model still applies. It's I had a little lull there where it stopped, like 100% abrupt, boom, done.
Yeah.
Like towards the end of March. And now just this month, the beginning of May, I'm starting to get more service calls, more clients. I'm holding out because I like my business model, but that doesn't mean that during this time I haven't been branching out and checking other avenues. So I've been looking at, I think I mentioned in the first episode of Average Joe that I was looking at maybe selling on Amazon, actually changing a little bit and having side income coming in from different sources. But as far as my business itself, I started working from home a lot more, doing like web-based stuff, which I already do, but I kind of did more of it, and doing a little remote service, getting into that.
Right.
Where normally I physically show up on site, and then I'm trying to help them.
So remote access, meaning like being able to take over someone's screen and kind of troubleshoot from your...
Yes.
Your
so
home.
What you can, because sometimes it's a physical or electrical problem that you have to physically be there to fix.
But for software issues...
But for software issues, you kind of go out of your way and you change your model a little bit. I don't do a lot of remote access to do the remote service, so it's a different billing type, a different style of billing. So I just kind of like added that, and then
that's good. I mean, so you were able to kind of like adapt a little bit.
Yeah, you adapt, you change a little bit, because normally I don't like to do those type of services because it's hard to bill for that time.
I just want to welcome a couple more people that have joined us. Chris Casas and Adam Walton. Dave Quirk has joined us again. Thanks for joining us again, Dave. Lori's joined us, and Michelle Daniels has joined us again. Thanks for joining us, Michelle.
If you have questions, throw them at us, because one of the ideas of having this is to interact with people.
Right, yes. So I'm gonna say hi to everyone here.
Because we're just two average Joes who happen to have businesses in Maine, and we like to interact with other people that are also either business owners or curious about business. And I might have questions about being a business owner.
See, the cool thing about us is we both work with multiple business owners, because I'm a commercial photographer and events photographer. Your work puts you in touch with a lot of business owners as well.
Yes.
So that we have that in common. So that kind of makes sense that we put on a show that talks a lot about business and business owners.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I put on here says, besides what are you doing to come back stronger as a business? Are you doing more marketing? Are you going to do more trade shows? Are you going to do more training seminars?
Are you going to change your business model all
together?
Together. Just
right.
change it completely.
Yeah.
Whereas you might have had a shop, would you just sell online?
Right.
So switching it over.
Or keep your shop, but do a larger percentage of online services and products. So I'll talk to you about what I plan to do as a business in growing. I know that I'm gonna probably be doing a lot more marketing. You know who Tom Morelli is, right?
Yes.
Tom Morelli is a portrait photographer, right, and brewer as well. He's also a brewer city councilman. He has a Tom show in the morning, usually 10 o'clock every single day, right on the dot. 10
Did
o'clock.
not know that.
10 o'clock. He's really good at it. But he is the master of marketing in the photography industry in the greater Bangor area. That's probably why he is still one of the few full-time photographers that has no other income coming in his home besides being a photographer. So I think that is really cool. Corey Hill's joined us.
Corey Hill, yo!
Hey, he says, afternoon, Joe.
Wait, I got something for you, Corey. Corey's a millennial, so YOLO!
Oh man, I saw him. So Tom is really good at marketing, and so that's the area that I feel like I can be a little stronger at the sales and marketing part of my business. So I'm going to be attending more workshops and seminars to help improve in that area.
On your marketing for your business.
For my business, for Memory Maker Photography, for my photography.
Now,
business.
are you going to change what you're doing for business, or are you just going to market what you currently do more?
Well, I'm going to be marketing my top end services a little bit more because I want a larger percentage of my business being one of my top end products and services versus what I have been doing in the past, because I've been in every type of photographer from the start, and I'm trying to morph myself into focusing a little bit more on commercial photography and things commercial related. The crazy thing with commercial photography, if you really go into the definition of what commercial photographers photograph, it's anything you sell, any service you provide. So it's kind of an everything photography field, but it's being able to handle all the different types of photography that and do it well makes a commercial photographer stand out a little bit more. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but but I've been hearing from the public and from my clients that I am one of the top photographers in the community.
Oh!
Yes. But quality wise, but I sure don't feel that way financially.
Oh, man.
So
what are you going to concentrate on for marketing? What are you going to do? Social media marketing mostly? You're going to do like Google AdWords? Are you going to take out a radio commercial and have that airplay?
So
what are you going to focus on spending that marketing budget on?
So I'm going to be spending right now. I've already made an initial agreement to join Business Network International, BNI, the Queen City group in Brewer, because it's word of mouth. It works really well because I would trust you suggesting a product to me, like an electronic product or a camera product or a video product, than me doing my own search online or an ad I see, or hear on the radio. I would trust your word more than someone else. So BNI is that type of interaction. So we become trusted members of the business community, and we all earn the trust from each other. And once we earn that trust from each other, it's going to be easy for them to refer me to clients that I want specifically.
Okay. And this is local businesses that are all part of this, or is this national?
It's international.
International.
So it's Business Network International, and then there's multiple groups, and each group has only like one business of that kind. So if you're a photographer doing commercial work, no other photographers are allowed to be in
your group.
In that group.
So they create a group that you get connected to.
Right. And I would have I would basically have that market within the group.
Yeah.
So I think that is a great use of my money. And the other great use of my money for marketing my business that I think anyone starting out or continuing to grow their business is becoming a member of the Chamber of Commerce. So your local Chamber of Commerce or the area that you do a lot of business in. Like for instance, I was a member of the Ellsworth Chamber of Commerce as well as the Bangor Chamber of Commerce for last year because I was running Down East Fantasy Con. And
I've heard this multiple times. My accountant, George Adams, CPA, brewer, is also, I believe, part of the Bangor Chamber of Commerce.
Well, the opportunities for education within the Bangor Chamber of Commerce is great. You have people give very valuable stuff. And with that membership, you get also the privilege to market directly to local businesses within that membership. For instance, the Bangor Region Chamber of Commerce has almost 1,000 members. So you have direct marketing potential there with 1,000 other businesses, which is huge. Because in the BNI group, I think the largest group is like maybe 40 or 50 people. So imagine 1,000 people that you have access to. And they send out a monthly newsletter, and you have access to whether or not you want to share what special or whatever it is advertising that you want. They have ads that they put out and talk about what we do.
And is that going to be where you stop, or are you going to hit social media as well, or some kind of advertisement outside of the digital realm?
I think I will be adding either some more like maybe video ads and stuff like that.
Well, the reason I ask is because this is a whole new world. Back when I first started my business, it was all about radio airtime, radio ads, and even newspaper, classifieds, and that stuff does nothing like anymore.
Yeah,
it's like seriously, I don't want to like bash the radio stuff.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
But who listens to the radio anymore? It's all streaming. You listen to the radio. I never listen to the radio, so I wouldn't think of advertising on the radio.
Do you know why I listen to the radio? So I can hear about what's happening locally.
Get the headlines.
Get the headlines. What's happening locally that pertains to the local region. And I agree with you that I might not get some direct sales from TV ads or radio or print or whatever it is that you're talking about, but it keeps you top of mind when someone thinks, hey, commercial photography. It's like having multiple sources tell the consumer.
The subconscious, repetitious.
Right, multiple sources telling the consumers that Subhan's the guy you want to go to for commercial photography.
Yep.
So
maybe that part still works. The constant bombardment of that information.
It is.
Build it into your subconscious.
I'm not saying that I'm going to dump a whole lot of money into that, but I'll definitely probably do some more social media stuff. I'll probably produce either some videos or the graphics to go along with it. When I have a promotion coming up, I think I need to be better at marketing before a seasonal event or something like that's happening.
I'd be curious who. Business owners that are out there right now, who is still using like radio ads for marketing? Who still puts those placemats at restaurants where you buy a section on their placemat?
Right, I do.
Who does that?
I do know a couple.
And what are the results? Like, tell me some of the results you get from this money that you spend on these type of marketing campaigns.
I know the Olivers just took over an area of coffee news. Coffee news is out there in every restaurant and stuff like that. They're not, of course, printing a whole lot right now because no one's allowed to dine in.
No one's in the restaurants.
Right, no one's.
So no one's looking at those placemats.
They would probably be a good couple to ask this question.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to know
Also,
because I have not advertised since like 1996. I've not advertised anything. So I'm curious because for me it's all about word of mouth, providing service.
Right,
and,
right.
You know, it's
Then I think something like BNI would be terrific for you because
Yeah.
it is word of mouth and it's from other businesses, and usually they encourage those businesses within the group to use each other's products and services so that you can get a better idea and also feel that you can trust the other business people that's within your group. And then when you build that trust, it's so easy to when you have a client for a specific service but can use all the other services too, to just say, hey, you need this, I have someone for you for these, for this, you know, type of thing.
I mean that sounds like it makes sense.
Yeah, so that's why I'm joining that group and I'm making that investment to I think I'm doing a 2-year membership with them. So I just want to thank you, Ishin Dove, for joining us. Well, it's Conrad now because she's married. And John Zeros, he's like a news reporter. He was a news reporter for Channel 2 back in the day, and I think he moved back to Utah. Karen Clark has joined us again. She's done some work in TV and radio as well.
Nice.
And Elaine Metzger, you know Elena Metzger. She her and her husband Ben owns Print Bangor right in downtown Bangor. And Gordon McKinney has done lots of sales work. He knows a lot of sales stuff. Patrick Healy owns Healy Chiropractic. Yeah.
Getting adjustment.
Yes, getting adjustment. And Amy Singh, remember Singh's Restaurant?
Yes.
She's part of that family.
Nice.
That used to be in Bangor. And Shirley Mitchell, thank you for joining us. And Kevin, thanks for joining us. Kevin's always... He's
Kevin.
The man. He's the man.
Kevin. Marketing.
We love Kevin. He's awesome.
Kevin the man.
He is. He's kind of the marketing guru. So I'm expecting. This is one thing that I'm gonna do differently. I think for the future of Memory Maker photography. If I'm gonna continue to rent out my photo booths, I'm gonna be going to some of these photo booth conventions where I learn more about the latest products and sales strategies for photo booth rentals.
Yep.
And I'm going to be going to photo workshops to how to sell more prints or how to market and get the clients that I need if I'm doing prints, or how to make sure that I'm getting paid for the licensing or use of images as a commercial photographer. So I'm going to definitely change how I'm running my business because of this experience, so that I can get my business where I need to get it to.
Yeah, and licensing is a lot. Licensing is a big deal in the photography industry, because if you're one of those photographers that goes out and does a wedding or goes to a business, does a bunch of shots, and then just hands them the SD card, here you go, you can have all the rights to these photos. You are missing out on a whole different level of income.
Right.
There's licensing, use licensing. And I deal with this because I deal with stock photography all the time.
And you pay for those licenses.
And I pay for licenses for specific uses. And if there's a different use, like if I want to use it in a video, I pay a different fee
than a print ad.
Than just putting it on a website.
Or a website,
you know, or using it on a presentation that I would show to a small group of private people. If you publicly use the photo, it's a different fee. So don't cut yourself short, right? If you're doing
that maybe that's where I feel like I've been cut short.
Yeah.
And I need to learn what is feasible for the local market. I'm so sensitive to what the local mom and pops can afford that I forget that my industry does not always need that type of thinking to run.
Well, I mean, it's the industry is what it is.
Right.
Like,
I need to follow the industry
standard. Yeah, you got to
to
set a price point and go with it, and that is what it is.
Yeah, no, I think it's great that you've been giving me some of these advices before, but now it's out there. It's out there to the public, so I can be held accountable. So you guys can check to see. It is because you're selling yourself short for one thing. You're undercharging, and if somebody has really use for that photo, they're willing to pay for it. And you're just gonna always be on the bottom if you keep underselling yourself.
So you've got to get yourself.
I thought we weren't supposed to be like, giving preaching to people.
No,
Just
I'm
kidding.
preaching to you. It's just general rule of thumb, man. Like any
Right,
business out
right,
there.
right.
Like if you have a good service or a good business, I'm gonna pay you for that good service. Don't try to undercut everybody. You know.
Right.
It's just I don't know. It's just the way it goes.
It is the way it goes. I think the only barrier that kept me was that I always felt like everyone deserves my service. But I always neglect the fact that not everybody can afford my service. And so I need to mentally work through that. And I hope going through some of these seminars and trainings for my specific industry will help advance me in that area. Yeah. So that's my goal in coming back stronger as a photographer, a commercial photographer in the Bangor area, coming out of this. So that's the business side of things for now.
Yeah, but so if you've got a business, tell us what you're doing.
Right. What are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing to change? When are you going to come back stronger? It'd be cool to hear some.
Are you doing anything different? Are you going to continue to do the same thing? Are you going to totally leave what you're doing and do something different?
A different thing altogether?
Because I know that there's so many businesses that have shut the doors for good. What are you gonna do now that you shut your doors for good?
Yeah, like the play centers for kids. Those are who's gonna go back to those? I think one shut down already in Maine.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't hear about that one.
I think it was in Augusta or Auburn.
I know a lot of restaurants have shut down. A lot of diners have shut down. It's just. So what are you doing now? You know, are you going to reinvent yourself? Are you going to go back to the same industry? Are you going to totally change what you've done?
Yeah, because you got to be resilient.
Yes, and I think business owners are resilient. They
are. That's why if you're an entrepreneur, the reason you are is because you like to create, you like to do by yourself, you like to earn your way.
You don't take no as a final answer.
Yeah, you just bulldoze your way through it and you just do it. Just make it happen.
So I'm excited about attending some of these seminars and stuff like that. And the great thing is some of them take place at places like Vegas. Woohoo! I could go to Vegas. I think I'm gonna book a couple extra days, but
are these like in 2022, 2023,
maybe 2021, 2022. I'm optimistic.
Should be.
I'm optimistic that we'll get through this. That life will be returning to mostly normal. Mostly, we're always going to have that area where we need to keep that safety of protection. Some of those procedures will stay, I think, but I think I'm optimistic about where things are going to go.
Yeah, just with a little bit of hyper awareness.
Yeah.
Of sterilization of things.
Right.
And just like we do now. There's some people are like hypochondriacs and germaphobes.
Well, some people are.
They clean everything anyway, and that was even before this. So.
Well, some people are immune compromised and they live that way already. I know that Michelle Daniels from the Brewer City Council, she's immune compromised, so she's already lived that lifestyle.
She's used to it.
She's used to it. And all she sees now is that everyone else is now finally doing it.
Everyone's like me. Everybody's like, having to clean everything and think about where germs might be and how they get on you. And
so bottom line, if you're starting a new business or you're a business owner, I think a great place to invest would be become a member of the Chamber of Commerce and also invest in joining a business group like BNI. I know my wife belongs to Tuesday Forum, which is do you know about Tuesday Forum?
I've never heard of this.
Okay.
Tuesday, a lot of things I've never heard of.
Tuesday Forum is a group of business professionals, and they uplift and empower each other, so they support each other's businesses and stuff like that too. So it's really similar to BNI, but it's just for women, and my wife's been part of that group now for several years, and it's been good for her. And it's been good for us actually, because she represents our business when she goes. So
this is kind of a nice contrast between you and I as well. When I started my business, I kind of just went forward, and I have the type of personality that doesn't ask for help, outside help or anything. I just kind of like try to bulldoze it through, and if I get stuck, I get stuck until I figure it out and move on. And you guys are more branching out, networking, all that stuff. And
I've been called might want to bleep this later. I've been called a networking whore.
Well, no, but I mean that's a whole different. Like we're completely different
Yeah.
business wise, so that's kind of cool to see that the contrast.
Mm-hmm.
How I run my small business and my personality goes into that. Whereas
Right.
you run your small
Right,
business.
because I'm more social.
Yeah, you're more social, and I'm more. I isolate.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah, no, I've grown to be more comfortable around business owners, which made it easy for me to switch over to commercial photography when I used to do portrait and weddings, and now I do a lot of commercial stuff. And being in these business situations and social groups, it made it easier for me to converse with business owners. So it was just a natural transition for me to do what I'm doing now. And I like it personally. I like it. I don't mind photographing families and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. I have a good time when I do that. But I've always, every time we meet as a business group or say Chamber of Commerce, it just feels like family. And Deb Newman and the team there, that Deb Newman's the president of the Bangor Chamber of Commerce, and her team there, they've become family to me. I love every single one of them because they're good at what they do, and they're caring, and they're really specific about how they can help. And they're always willing to help. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
And it shows. And I think that we are where we are as a business, even though I flubbed it up so bad. We only are where we are as a business because we have the support of these people in the community.
Yeah. And you're more open. You're more open about, I think, your business than I am. I'm more private.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
you have to pry information
For
out
the
of me.
longest time, I'm your buddy, and I didn't even know what the heck you did.
Yeah. So like you're open about it, and you let people know what's happening in your business life, in your personal, kind of mix, because it's kind of a mix, right?
Yeah.
Because you bring your personality with you.
I do.
And because that's part of your business.
What you see is what you get from me. I don't change who I am. I mean, I might use more specific words to say if I deal with the client.
Mm-hmm.
But when I deal with my business and marketing and advertising my business, I am who I am. I'm no different than who I am when I'm at home.
Yep.
Except for maybe a few obnoxious things that my wife doesn't like, and some of those still flow over, and she still doesn't like some things I do because it's just who I am.
And then when I go out, I become super reserved.
Right.
Because that's my professional persona that you have to put out in order to have that professional relationship. Like if I go somewhere, I'm not sharing anything personal. I don't ask anything personal. It's all business.
Yeah.
And that's how I've trained myself to be in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So that reserved nature kind of goes away at events or something. But in a professional environment, I'm way more reserved.
Yeah, definitely. I do not identify with that because for me, whether I'm in a professional or personal relationship with someone I'm working with, I try to get to know them to build that. For me, it's all about relationship building.
Yep.
So if me asking a question to help increase trust and openness between each other, to me, I'm building that relationship with that person, even if it's a business relationship, it strengthens it. I think it kind of goes along with how people wine and dine business partners that they want to do business with. I think it's kind of sort of that mentality, but not to that extent. But it's just showing like you have some commonalities, you have some interests that are similar, showing interest in family and stuff like that. To me, that builds relationship and makes it easier for them to use me and refer me the next time they need a service provided.
Right. And that's a whole different school of thought.
Yeah.
My school of thought is that you keep your numbers and your where you are status-wise private so that the other business doesn't get a one-up on you. Mm-hmm. It's that whole, keep your cards facing you.
Well, but it's
a weird thing, but that, you don't...
No, I have to admit, some of my strategy has hurt me before. Because I would come out and tell people how I do things, and they'll be like taking notes.
Yeah.
And they're like,
suddenly there's another business that just pops up out of nowhere.
All the time, dude. How many times have I trained and taught my competition? A lot.
Yep.
I have done a lot. I've admitted to that, but I'm okay with that because if people like them better than me, go to them. But some people I know will still like me better than them because of me.
Yep. Yeah,
So-
it's your personality, what
Right.
you bring to the table as a human being.
Right.
And that happens a lot because even when I went to school in Florida for electronics engineering, and then got a job as a computer repair person. And the person training me at this place in Florida, and I'm not going to name the company, but the guy would not show me everything that I needed to know.
Mm-hmm.
He would show me just enough to get me by because he didn't want me to know everything he knew.
To be competition.
Yeah, so that was like very evident there.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what you're saying. Like,
Well, I think in the beginning of my photography career, that was the case. But now with the YouTube channels that are teaching photography and skills, off-camera flash, portrait lighting, all this stuff, wedding photography way back then, it was kind of hush-hush. You didn't want to share information because
trade secrets.
Trade secrets.
secrets.
Your assistant's gonna learn your trade secrets and take it from you and become your competition.
Yeah.
Which I became their competition anyways. But I went in thinking maybe I'll work practically for free just so I can learn, like an apprenticeship thing.
Yep.
And yeah, but I found out that there's plenty of business to go around. There's not enough of me. I get double booked, triple booked all the time. You see me calling you like, hey, I need a cameraman.
Yeah,
Come help me out.
don't
all
have
the
enough.
time. I never have enough people. So there's plenty of work out there, and this idea of scarcity, I think, is wrong. And so
I think it's a artificial fear.
It is.
It's an artificial fear that's like, I
The-
can't let anybody else know about these jobs because then I'll
Right.
lose those jobs.
Right. But I that's why for me it's important for me to build my relationships as a person because that client will choose me over the other person because of me.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how I run my business. I just need to work the numbers a little better.
The numbers and be firm on
The
those
numbers,
licensing fees.
the numbers, yes. Cheryl Oliver just joined us. She and her husband owns Coffee News, so she can probably help answer some of your questions there.
Yeah, Cheryl Oliver.
Yes, she's also a great vocalist for The Dogs. The Dogs is a band, and her music. She was there. You were there to record with me. It was at the Bangor Arts Exchange on Exchange Street.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Upstairs. And her band was performing, and that was the first time I've recorded them on video, and I'm like, holy crap, where have you guys been? This sounds awesome. And she's also been posting recordings on the quarantine karaoke as well. So
Very nice.
so you can check her out there, but you'll have to search her name in the group because there's hundreds of posts a day.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds.
But Cheryl, if you get a second, let us know how Coffee News is doing, like as far as like marketing, like advertising.
Right, how well the clients your clients are doing.
Yeah, what's the return on investment for somebody that advertises with the Coffee News to get business back to them? I'm interested in that print advertisement
versus the social media and the new things that's
versus the
happening.
digital advertisements that
right.
we're doing nowadays. So it's an interesting thing.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I covered the business stuff, and that's the last one. I have some tips on photography stuff. Oh, yes, I want to talk about this. We talked about. We're gonna.
I want to
show. What do you
yes,
want to show
I
that?
wanna, this is burning at me.
Okay, go ahead.
So I like to do the gadget thing. Like every day I want to, or every time we do the show, I want to I like a cool gadget because I like cool things. I like tech that is useful, and I just wanted some opinions on a gadget. And there's a lot of these out there, but I'm just gonna show it as he falls off the set.
I'm back, guys.
Yep, let me get this out of the way. So I was looking and
She's doing it on her high heels.
yes. So they have these little pedal trainers that you put on your desk, and I just want to know: has anybody used one of these? Would you use one? What do you think of these things? I'm not advertising for these guys because for me, I would rather get out of my chair and actually move around than sit at a desk and pedal around. So I wanted to show, and I'm going to show this.
And it's not even a full like big movement. It's like a little tiny steps, like little geisha.
This is what you're doing.
It's like geisha girl, you know, little.
Look, it's working your abs.
Is it?
Look at that. So you're doing this. So I want to know how many people would use a device like this. Oh, it's working those glutes. Working those glutes.
There goes the glutes.
Targets quads and hamstrings. Wow. I would think, okay, so I would think that this would get more annoying at your desk doing this while you're trying to type or trying to write something. And I want to know how many people would use something like this.
Well, I was thinking it's at least better than sitting on your duff at your couch doing nothing.
It's probably better than that.
I think it's better than nothing. But when he showed me this, I'm like, yeah, someone might get something out of that. But,
yeah, so would you use this? Would you use? I don't think, like.
I don't think I would.
I wouldn't use it.
I don't think I would. But it showed a woman doing it. But maybe a woman would use it.
I don't know. I like to look for gadgets, and in my seeking of gadgets, like cool stuff, I ran across this, and I'm like, what? Why? I would never use this, but maybe somebody would.
Well, I told, when I saw this, it made me think of why can't these exercise equipment that are being made generate electricity for you to power your house or to at least recharge a power pack, like a generator, electric generator, so you can use
the crank radios that had the charger
for like emergency use. I think we need to invent. We need to come up with that invention.
Yeah, and we were talking about it. If there was something like this that had charging ports on it, or a battery that you could charge, then yeah, I could see like even having a mini one of these camping site or something. Or when the power goes out, you lose power, you get the kids pedaling on that thing. Charge my phone up, kids. Get on that thing.
So I think that would be terrific if someone can get this to charge a generator and have that electric generator, battery powered generator, to hold that power, store it, and use it during electrical outage or something like that.
That's right. And we've talked about like gyms. The gyms.
Yeah.
Like having all the gym equipment being that they're made to actually power something. Mm-hmm. Some of them are self-powered. Like you start pedaling on them, they don't need to be plugged in, and the action of you cranking on that mechanism supplies power to the electrical panel that gives you the readout, and the digits. And but man, have a gym design, even the weights, like they have the Smith machines, the up and down action.
Right. So if you don't know what the Smith machine is, it's stationary. It's in a cage type thing. So it's not free weights. It's different from free weights.
It's a bar, and then you've got two cylinders going up, and then you've got bearings that you can push something up and down or pull it up and down. And even that action, because they've got ways of producing electricity, that could be a coil on that.
You said you've seen this in other countries?
I know I've read an article somewhere that, because the United States is always kind of a little behind in some of the newest tech, because we have regulations we got to go by, things that have to be approved in the United States. But in other countries, I'm pretty sure they've got areas where, like the floor has piezoelectric technology in it, so just walking into the gym, the pressure in the floor produces electricity, and then you have all the equipment that's in the gym is also producing electricity. I want to see some of that in the United States.
It's almost like we need to have that in our own personal home gyms just to test it out.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah,
right now. Definitely need that.
Test it out. I mean, if we do it in home gyms, this is the time to actually produce this product for home gyms, and also for it to recharge a battery source, a generator of some sort. I think that would be terrific. I would invest in that.
Yep. So we're gonna have to get on that, inventing something.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I know an inventor.
Or just jumping jacks.
I know a guy.
How about a platform where you're just doing jumping jacks? And every time you hit the platform, it hits a plunger that is a coil going up and down.
And the harder you hit it, the more power it stores. Yeah.
All right. See, we just came up with an invention.
Yeah.
All right. That was the gadget I wanted to ask questions about, but now I just want to show something that I really want. I really want one of these. This is a Clicbot. It's a modular robot that's on Kickstarter right now. And it was on Indiegogo.
What's it do?
I'll show you what it does. Let's look at it. This is what it does right here. Look at this thing. You control this with your smartphone. All these pieces are modular. I want one of these things.
Oh.
Look at that.
Oh, it's like a pet.
Again, I'm not affiliated with these guys.
It's like a pet robot, huh?
Yep. So all these
I
pieces
gotta
are
check my phone real quick. I'm sorry. I'll be back.
Look at this thing. So who would get one of these? I would love to have one of these bad boys. Let me shrink this. So these things, Clicbot, how much are these things? They're raising money right now. They've raised almost $1 million
Wow.
for this sucker.
Wow. So why would you want it?
I would want it just to play with. Like, I want to make stuff like that. Look at that.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Climbing up the windows. Oh, it's a snake. Nice.
You wouldn't want to do that?
And you control this with your device?
You control this with your cell phone.
Okay.
So, like, all the kids are getting all this cool tech, and we're getting nothing. we got to play with boring stuff like laptops and work.
Right.
So
yeah, all our toys are used for work, it seems like.
Yeah, this thing is called the Clicbot. So if you want to check this out, if you get a couple of them, send me one. Let's see, the full kit is like $550 to get a full kit. Ooh.
Until it goes fully
Yeah,
full production.
Full production, then it might go up a little bit. So yeah, I would want one. Starter kit, $350.
Very nice.
All right.
Very nice. So
Gadgets of the day.
that's a cool gadget. I like that. I think I might.
You gonna buy me one?
I might. We're good friends, but hold.
Somebody buy me one of them things.
Hey, if he sends you a device, you would do a test video and review on it.
I would do a review on it.
Yeah, all right.
The review would be me laughing and rolling around.
So here's another thing. If you have a product or device that you want a video produced on, we'll consider shooting a video for you if you let us have the device to play with and all that stuff. We'll do a product review on it. And
yeah, but it's got to be cool though.
It's got to be cool, so we have to decide whether or not it's going to be.
I don't want to like a Pyrex pie pan.
What's that?
Pyrex glass. Don't send a Pyrex glass pie pan to check out.
Yeah. No, we saw mostly like what, tech gear, electronic stuff.
It's got to be cool.
It's got to be cool.
It's got to be cool.
All right, and send it to us. We'll shoot a video, do a review, have some fun with it.
Yep.
So I have some photography tips.
Do it
today.
and then after this, I'll show the privacy settings. For
So I'm using my 800D, which is the equivalent to T7i US. The international model is 800D. I have my 10 to 18 millimeter super wide lens on this, but that has nothing to do with my tip.
Yeah. So what are we doing with this camera?
So your camera has all these like preset settings that you can put it on. The Running Man. It's got a picture of a running man.
There's the auto mode,
the flower
shutter priority.
No, we're not.
You talking about?
No, I'm talking about the ones with the pictures with it.
Okay.
So the one with like the head for portraits, the mountains for landscape, the flower for macro shots.
Okay.
So if you're doing a picture of a person, put it on that person mode.
I've never used those modes. I always shoot in manual, so I don't even know what those modes do.
Right. Well, it automatically. So for instance, the portrait mode, it will bring that aperture to its widest opening possible to help blur the background. It will automatically do that for you. So those of you that don't understand manual settings and stuff like that on your DSLR or other cameras, try these modes. And if you want to shoot like close up on a, like say food photography or a flower, put it on that flower mode, which is macro, and that allows you to focus at its minimal focus distance, and also will get you the ability to really focus on something close and tight and fill your frame a little bit more. And for the Running Man, it'll freeze something that's moving fast. If you have kids, put it on that Running Man mode. Your kids are going to move faster sometimes than you can catch up with.
So the Running Man puts it in the highest shutter
Yes,
the highest shutter speed that it can go
the highest shutter speed
for the lighting that it's
right for the lighting situation.
And the portrait one will put it in the widest open aperture that it can be at for the lighting.
Right, and if you put it on the mountain mode, the aperture it will bring that down as much as possible so that you can get as much depth of field. So it'll probably use the sunny 16 rule where it's shooting at f16 in bright daylight, so that you'll get as much in focus as possible in the landscape mode. So and I'm telling you to go ahead and use these settings not because I want you to dumb down how to learn your camera, but it has metadata with every file that you shoot. So you're here like, oh, I shot a mountain and everything's in crisp and focus when I put it on the mountain mode. What if I want to shoot in manual mode with these same things? Well, you find out which aperture and shutter speed and ISO it was on when the
camera automatically calculated that.
And you can replicate that. So you can reproduce the same setting when you see the metadata in the image file, and you can bring that up through the menu too. And every camera is a little different, but it should say image info. And that's my tip of the day.
Awesome.
Learn to use all these things for their purpose.
I didn't even know what those modes were. I've never used them ever. Like when I got my first camera, it was in manual from the start.
Right.
And I was like, this sucks. There's another bad picture, and another bad picture, and another bad picture. So it forced me to do that.
So the auto settings help you learn faster. It speeds up the learning process. If you're brand new to using a DSLR or any other decent camera that would have these modes, some point and shoots have these modes as well. So give it a try and tell me what you have for a result, and if this information was helpful at all, let me know.
How much longer do you think DSLRs are going to be like out there being used?
I think they might have another couple years.
Like 2 years?
2 or 3.
Transition maybe to mirrorless?
Right, yes.
And then from there, straight to cell phones that have the 200 megapixel sensors?
Probably. I have no idea. I think someone's always going to want that tactile feel of the camera and all the switches and functions.
Yeah.
I think there's always going to be a market for someone that want to push all these buttons manually instead of going through a menu structure.
Speaking of that, I just saw a gadget that is a plug-in. It's a module that you hold your phone, you plug it in the end of it, and it gives you that
oh, no way.
It gives you the bulb.
So maybe that would be the bridge.
Yep. So you plug it in, and then you're sitting there like this.
Yep.
And then you can have
I can see that happening. I can see that selling big in the future when all of that technology can be crammed into just your cell phone, having an attachment, an accessory to make that feel more tactile.
Yep.
I think will.
So why would somebody want to still use a DSLR over a cell phone?
I think sometimes the feel, the heft of it sometimes feels good to be able to mount it more firmly, more surely on a tripod. To maybe they're working near wind where they want something more sturdy or heavy. I think that would be it. But I know that I've worked with I've talked to other photographers that had. I've been dealing with the Rebel series for such a long time, such a small camera, that I haven't had as many health problems as some of the other photographers that are using these gigantic bodies with their 70 to 200.
With gigantic 20-pound lenses.
and they're getting carpal tunnel and tendonitis, and they're having to wear braces on their hands all the time because they're doing weddings that are 10 plus hours, and they're injuring themselves because their gear is so heavy.
Yeah.
And I've actually avoided a whole lot of that by getting slightly smaller bodies, and the EFS lenses are usually lighter than the L series lenses. So anyways, that's a little bit about my experience as a photographer.
Yeah. One of the biggest things for me for still using a DSLR is the off-camera flash.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that with the cell phones that
Right,
you see.
Right. But that might change.
That might change. There are adapters. I know there's probably adapters out there that you can get a flash to trigger with the cell phone. But then the cell phone sensor is so small, the quality is not going to be as good, and you don't have the the variance in lens
Right.
that you can get for a DSLR.
Right.
And the control over aperture, shutter, and ISO is
You
usually
can-
taken away from you.
No, you can actually there
You can
is.
kind of change
Yes,
it. It's
kind of.
virtual though. It's
Yes,
not
it
real.
is. No, it's not real.
It's not real.
It's not mechanical. It's kind of a it's like a virtual thing.
Yeah, and it just kind of tells you, yeah, we're gonna adjust this to make this
Right.
happen.
So I think some of those reasons that you talked about just now will keep DSLRs around for longer than some people expected.
I think people tend to cling on to a certain technology, and it'll be around.
I mean, it's lasted this long. It's been around for so long,
Crazy.
right?
Yeah.
From the film days, it's been around for so long,
Yep.
decades. So I don't see it really disappearing that quickly unless you find something that's just as tactile and can do things very similar to
Right.
what we already have.
All right. Quick tip of the day. We had somebody last. What was her name? She wanted to.
It was
know.
Karen.
Yes,
She's
Karen.
here.
All right, Karen. So I didn't have an Android phone to actually do like screenshots with. So I've got pictures to demonstrate.
I have an Android phone.
Yeah, he's got an Android phone, but guess what? He uses it to do the live stream,
Right.
so we can't like do a screencast or something to show you the settings to turn off your location. So I always do that. I always click to the side. And
Nice.
so right here, this on the Android devices like the Samsung, you have a quick settings menu, which is usually you swipe down with 2 fingers from the top of your screen to get that quick settings menu to come down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like on the iPhone, we have like on the quick settings menu, you swipe down.
Right,
on
right,
some of
right.
them. So once you swipe down, you'll get like these icons that show up, and a lot of times location is already there.
Right.
So you can just tap that and it turns off your location. But if you don't see the location there, then you can get through it through the settings, which would be clicking the little gear icon. And I'll show you, let's go in here. So you can either click the gear icon from the quick settings, or if you just look at your apps, click the settings gear icon there, and then you'll go to biometrics and security. And once you go to biometrics and security, you'll see location as an option. Just tap that and toggle it off. Now again, once you turn off location, your GPS is not going to be functional in the maps and
Right.
stuff anymore.
Yeah. Some of the functions are going to be disabled.
Yeah, so again, if you want to use your mapping software or find stores around you or something that you need to have relevance of something close to you, then keep the location on for that time being and then turn it off afterwards. And then I had another tip for the advertisement, because Google likes to use your behaviors on your phone to
Right.
target advertising.
Right. All that data that you give them.
Yeah, so again, I don't have a phone to show you, but right in, let's see, where is it? It's under settings, and then you go to Google. There's actually a thing called Google in your settings, and I don't have it here. But when you click the gear icon, you'll go to Google, and then under Google, you'll see ads, and then you have to enable the opt out of ads personalization. There's something called opt out of ads personalization.
Oh, this is good for me to know. I don't know that one.
Yeah, so you tap that, you enable opt out, and then it doesn't use your personal information to target ads tailored to you.
Okay.
Because you don't want that information collected and used to, it's sent to third parties, they use it to
Then
target
suddenly
you.
you see ads on Facebook telling you.
Yeah, everything. The cookies that your phone gathers, and then the cookies that your system has, and then they use other methods of getting when you log in with your Google account. When you have an Android phone, you got to create a Gmail account just to activate the phone. So that Gmail account carries your information everywhere
Right.
you go.
I have it.
So at least you can disable the fact that they're using your information to target ads tailored to you, or target you for tailored ads.
Cool. That's great information. That's information I didn't already have.
Yeah, just disable that.
Right. We have a question here talking about what would be a good starter camera.
Ooh, a good starter camera.
Starter camera.
I'll tell you what, I started with a Canon, and I loved that camera.
Right. I started with a Canon as well, and I'm still using Canon, and I love the Canon series. I thought the menu was a little easier to navigate than
It's got a touchscreen.
Nikon. Yeah.
Awesome. The lenses, the EFS lens line is an
Right.
awesome lens line.
It's a huge variety that you can choose from, and it was pretty quick and easy to learn, especially with digital nowadays. And you don't have to worry about the film, going through film, because you can delete files.
Yep.
And you have.
And I'll tell you, Canon's got a shop online. Their shop, Canon USA, where they sell refurbished.
Refurbished,
cameras.
yes. Yeah.
And one of the Canons I bought was a T6, and I got it for like $188 with 2 lenses.
That's terrific.
On sale, like every Christmas era that comes around, like November into Christmas.
Yeah.
Canon will run specials in their refurbished cameras,
Right.
and you can pick those things up for nothing.
All right, so did you hear that? You got to go online and check. And we like Canon, and if you get Canon, you can get a lot of support from us because I live in the Canon world.
I recently jumped to Sony
Yeah.
because I had to get the highest megapixel camera that existed
Right.
at that time
Right.
for something affordable.
So what's the megapixel count on your Sony right now?
It's a 61 megapixel.
That's crazy.
Sensor, full frame sensor. So I like to do macro stuff,
Yeah.
and I just wanted the max amount of pixel density on things that I was.
That's crazy when you need that for macro. For me, I thought you would need that for like landscape.
No way.
So you can crop.
Yes.
And crop.
I want to get it so close to something that I can see the atoms that make it up. So I'm still working at that.
That's crazy. So I'm thinking of getting the Canon 5 DSR just because of the megapixel count as well.
Yep.
And I chose Canon because it has because I'm familiar with Canon. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't do very well with video. So now I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna possibly get the EOS
R5?
The R5 is delayed.
I know.
It's delayed because of the quarantine, the lockdown and all that stuff. So they've delayed the release of that. So I'm gonna have to get the EOS R first, and then wait for the new versions of the mirrorless coming up from Canon, which I didn't want to. I wanted to get that first before like a holdover camera, and the EOS R is gonna kind of be a holdover camera.
Yeah.
For that.
And don't get us wrong, like there's nothing wrong with Nikon.
Yeah.
But I've had because I jumped around. I Canon, Nikon, Sony, and then back to Canon, and then back to a Nikon, and now I'm back to a Sony. And I had the most fun I had was with the Canons.
Mm-hmm.
The Sony's like all business. Like I use that, it's all business.
Yeah.
The Nikon, I was like, it's okay, and it does a good job, but I really enjoyed using the Canon.
But Nikon, I was really impressed with their weather seal, like right from the beginner model, and also they just feel like they're built like tanks.
Yeah, they are. The Nikon I had.
And that was from the lowest model up, and I was disappointed in Canon because of that. But Canon was just so easy and fun to work with.
Yes, and very inexpensive.
Yes.
To get a refurbished one.
That's right, and there's so many Canons out there that you can get
And
refurbished.
I'll be honest with you, the lenses that I got for my Canon, I had way clearer photos with the Canon lens line than I did with the Nikon lens line. So Sony does a great job. I like the lenses I got for the Sony. But when I switched from Canon to Nikon, one of the things I noticed is that I wasn't getting the quality I thought I was getting with the Canon through the lenses that I was using.
Well, I love the color reproduction because I photographed a lot of people and skin tones were nice, so I stuck with Canon because of that.
Yeah. And you get the nifty 50.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it, $125
Yeah,
for that lens?
right. Yeah, when I first bought it, it was like $80.
Yeah, so you get a Canon body, you get a nifty 50,
Right.
that a 1.8 aperture, and you are like golden.
Yeah, you got some
golden.
shallow depth of field. It's fun. So that's cool stuff. I hope we answered some of your questions there about a good starter camera, and hope to get you started. If you need more tips, just comment and message us, and we'll add more to the next show.
We will indeed.
So do you have anything else to share? Are we good?
I don't. I shared my little tidbits. I still want to know who would use one of those under the desk pedals.
Right, under the desk pedals. So Sean and I have been discussing a music video for quarantine karaoke. We are working on getting that, and we are still giving out prizes. At the end of that video, we'll be announcing it on Quarantine Karaoke because, yeah, we're gonna do it there instead of here. But not that we're not gonna share some of that video here.
Yeah. Have we
We might share a
decided?
link.
Have we decided what song we're doing?
I think we're gonna go with that original song. We're just gonna get that done, and we'll save the other one for when we actually film the other one for the full video in costume and stuff. You'll be entertained by
Sounds
that.
like-
Our first one. Stop. No giveaway. Don't give away. Don't give
If you
away.
can figure this out.
No giving it away. So we're going to doing a full music video later on in costume and stuff. But for our first video that we do together, our karaoke video together, it's just going to be us singing on Quarantine Karaoke. So until next time, join us back here at Average Joe Daily Show. I'm Suban,
I'm Sean.
and we'll see you later.
All right. Peace.
Bye.